Okay, so everybody able to see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
So this is the session that I will discuss a little bit how to use the tool, but it's going to be mostly like how to engage with our students. So I'm going to quickly discuss the like how to structure Zoom classroom. And then we're going to discuss the tools in the Zooms that you can use engaging your student. So these are the tools that I'm going to discuss and then give you the brief reasons that why do you use it, when to use it, and how to use it. And along the line that I'm going to demonstrate throughout the session that using the tool to engaging our faculty colleague, okay? So first one is same as an in-classroom session. You want to actually start with set the stage. So like we had a quickly chat with it and checking, especially in the Zoom classroom, if you did or are going to do the remote classroom, then checking student temperature, like how they're doing, and everybody's, especially like through the COVID, we're not out of wood yet. So asking students whether their family members okay and are they okay, and those just warm up the classroom, and then also the make sure that introduce that topics that you're going to cover that class. So we start with those things in the classroom too, right? When you go into the classroom, it's like, okay, today's topic is this, we're going to do this, this, this. I hope that we're going to complete those things in this classroom, something like that. And also it is important, really important to connecting to the prior knowledge or previous session, even better to connecting how this today's topic is connecting from the previous session to the today's session. Those things is always help the student to be actually recognize the topic of the days of class, and then how can they more engage with the today's class. And also the two or three topics that you're going to deliver or discuss or give them active engagement, and make sure that have a pause or checking student their understanding their progress between 8 to 10 minutes, because attention span in the Zoom classroom is way less than in the face-to-face classroom. So in the face-to-face in-person classroom, you could go ahead and then like do the lecture 20 minutes and then give student activity or give them an engagement. But in the Zoom classroom, they're not going to be focused on 15 minutes. They're going to actually checking emails and checking. We do that too in the meeting too. So or checking the text and those things. So do the big activity in like 5 to 10 minutes, and have a pause and working with the student to give them reflect upon or checking their progress or understanding. We just have one more faculty join and we're just going to continue to go on. And so chunking the even Zoom classroom is important. So in that way, student could be continuously engaged and connected with the class. And then at the last, then give student the summary of the session, what you did, and then also linking to based on the objectives and announcement with what is assessment, what they have to do. I mean, it is the same as in classroom session, but more important part is that just chunking it, stop it like 10 minutes and checking and give them a little break. And also when you're changing the topic or doing the activities that I hope that you do based on today's workshop, that when you give them activities, then it's going to be more student going to be more engaged. Okay, so that's the best practice being recommended by Zoom or other faculty and other professional developers. That's why we're recommending to having a structure of your Zoom classroom. Okay, one thing, same as online classroom, in Zoom classroom, you could, but it's hard to change on the fly. In the classroom, if something not goes well, and then as an experienced teacher, you can say, okay, it's not going to work, let's change it. But in the Zoom classroom, it is hard to actually quickly change it to other things. So you wanted to really plan your Zoom classroom. So in order to do those kind of activities, so we have 6 different tools, engaging tools that you can use. First one is using the Nonbubble Feedback. it's very easy to do, and just quick get a sense of what you can do with those things. And then even though we have a reactions, it's under the reaction. So if you look at the body of the after share screen, there will be the menu and there will be the reaction. So if you click the reactions, or the even under more, so if you select the reactions, and there is a couple options, and you can do the clapping or thumbs up, and also raise a hand, yes, no. So like today's, most of us had a video on. If that case is that you can actually ask a student, instead of using the emojis or thumbs up on the reaction, you could actually ask a student actually use actual thumb. So ask the student, everybody can see my slide, and ask the student thumbs up, or if they don't see, thumbs down. And even sometimes asking student question. I do that a lot in the classroom too. So student have their thumbs on the chest, and then ask them, do you guys understand this concept, or do you have any question? So instead of raising hand, and they have to do the thumbs up, thumbs down, or if they're confused, and in the middle. So those are concept is in this reaction. So that's what they're trying to figure out. But Zoom didn't have a actually thumbs down or to the in the side. So you can decide whatever you wanted to do. But simply using those icon or reaction, even simply having a yes, no reaction, that you can get a sense of where they are and what they're doing. So you don't have to prep anything. You just give student a prompt, and student have to react. So that's the good part of the using the nonverbal feedback. And so they are just show the thumbs ups, and even the raise a hand. And we are lucky that Writer is a smaller classroom size, so usually we don't have any problem. But if when you have to teach a large classroom, and raise a hand is really good tool under the reaction. In that way, in the participant, when student raise a hand, the order of the participant will change. So whoever raise a hand goes on top of the list right after the host and co-host. So you will know who raised a hand, and then you can, and then also even the video will move too. So they actually Zoom incorporated those things, and either you can lower the hand or the person could lower the hand. Okay, so its icon on the Zoom menu of reaction looks like this. It's a little emoji icon will be there, and then you can have a more option. So if you click on the more, 3 dot is usually the more option in the Zoom. So like in 3 dot, if you do it, and there is a more emoji icons available, and default will only show you the one skin tone. So based on what it's not like too much of the variation, but at least Zoom trying to give us a different skin tone of the emoji and the reaction. So I have a little bit of brown color-ish skin tone in my emoji. So we have a really not dark, but so we have a little bit of variation, even the skin tone. But one thing I have to remind you that if you actually select the close to the black color of the skin tone, it doesn't really show up, because if you have the dark background, it not really visibly you can see those reaction icons. So just be mindful with it. You have to really look into the background to see the icon. And as you can see, the green check is a yes, and red X is a no, and go slower, slow down, and go fast. And then even they added a break. So I'm away. So I'm gonna have so student too in the classroom, they said, Professor, can I go to use the restroom? And there's the coffee cup with the I'm away icon too. So they can change those kind of things. So there are multiple things available. And one nice thing about using just yes and no, or the raise your hand, under the participant, the very bottom of the participant panel, Zoom will give you a number of the yes and number of the no. So you don't have to manually count it. You just need to know, okay, I have a 25 student in the classroom. And today, before beginning of the class, okay, 20 students joined today's class. And you don't have to check who didn't answer. You can just go with, okay, I have only 15 answers. So I'm gonna wait, everybody give me the answer. So you don't have to manually count. The Zoom will give you the total cumulative count, how many students said yes and how many students said no. So that's why it's very nice to actually quickly checking the temperature or the quick checking that they know or not. So in that way, we make sure they add everything and so, okay, everybody answer, we're gonna move on, something like that. Is that clear? Okay. So then, so raise your hand looks like this. As I said, once you have, again, it's associated with the number, you will see how many students raise a hand. Well, even you can use a raise your hand is like a thumbs up. So like understand, like would everybody understand raise your hand or physical hand, or they can just keep moving. And the emojis of the hand. So in that way, everybody can actually use the hand. As you can see, it depending on the background, where most of students will not turn on the video. So when they have a very dark or very bright their background photo, then sometimes it's not really easy to see what kind of reaction they use. So just be mindful with it. Again, you will get the number, aggregated number in the nonverbal feedback. So even as I said, you don't have to count when student raise a hand, you don't have to count. So sometimes it's asking them to use the nonverbal feedback reaction. It's easier for you actually management of the what is going on in the classroom. So we're gonna practice this. So everybody able to open up, please open up in the reaction in your menu and give me a green check in the Zoom classroom. So not this semester. So last year, think about last year when we had a Zoom classroom, do you think the student participated more in the Zoom classroom? Then give me a yes. And if you think the student participated less, then give me a no, check, no red X. And there's a no difference either in-person classroom or in Zoom classroom, then give me the slow down. Slow down is the icon with the left side. Okay. Whoa. Don, are you having a problem? Okay, so good. No differences. Cool. See, so I can see from the reaction from the video channel, and then I have a 5 axis and 1 no differences. So I can quickly check the temperature. So you can doing like this, or I have a prompt in here, but you can just read the question to your student. One thing you will really wanted to do is read aloud question all the time. As you know that we have a student from the disabilities and accessibility offices, and once you just do written, and some student might not be able to read from the screen reader, so you always wanted to read aloud the question for your student. So cool, and this is very nice. And then I can actually remove all the answers and clear the audience. So it's going to go like that. So this is one activity you can do, quickly do it. And the next one, so everybody's okay to use the reaction, right? There are multiple different things. And well, a couple of you probably attended the one of the CDO presentation, finalist presentation. So I steal that idea. So CDO candidate finalist was asking us that, like, if you like, give me a heart. So that was very nice. And asking student yes or no. So asking student, if you like it, give me the heart emoji. So you can actually see the heart while clapping. So it was very nice way to, even though they're college student, not kindergartner, and they love to using different emojis icon in the reaction. So you can ask them to pick on any emojis representing your feeling or something like that. You can do that too.
Yeah, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So we all still have our X's and things in our screen. Is that going to go away by itself, or do we need to do something to get those to stop?
It will go away.
Okay.
Give me a second. It should be here in the menu, but I'm having a hard time.
I know, like with the like the if you use the thumbs ups or other emojis, it's only there for like a very brief time. I was just wondering.
Thumbs up is, but you can also lower it. And where did it go? It's supposed to be actually clear the reaction. They changed the menu. I thought that I caught up with everything. Let me see the. Kelly, do you know the
Yeah,
answer?
they've made it persistent so that it doesn't go away as fast, but if you go back to reactions yourself and click what you selected the first time, it'll
Oh,
turn it
you
on.
unselect, I
Yeah.
see, okay.
So it's
Okay.
the
Got it.
professor supposed to have an option to remove it. So it used to be that we have an option to actually clear the reaction, but I'm having a hard time finding option. So I have to find how do we actually remove those. Okay, it used to be that actually clear all option was available. So
Young,
hmm?
under your participants, go to more. Do you have clear all feedback?
Oh, well, I didn't see that before.
Yeah. They keep
My eyes
moving
going
stuff.
bad. I need to have a glasses.
So there is
an
something, for-
option to clear all feedback as a as a host. So you have option to clear it. So I cleared everybody's. Okay. So it's under the participant where you see the aggregate number. Then there's a more, and second option is the clear all feedback. Okay.
okay,
All right, Kim, let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
Patricia called in and you asked Quayle something. I noticed the screen came up with the images, yet this time my image did not show up. Who controls that? Does Zoom control that? Do you control it? Does Quayle control it? Who's controlling what images show up?
By default, it actually shows up the speaker. So whoever speaks, so it's a presenter view. So the video view is a presenter view. So whoever speaks, then that popped up. But you could actually change it if you go to, that's the basic. If you, right now your share screen. So if you, it's a little bit of different. If you look at the top menu, it's a little different menu with the presenter view and the student view. There are options. So right on top of your screen, there will be the option to side by side. Do you see the option? So
I see a view options. Do I look at that?
view option and side by side.
And side by side.
Yeah, and then my PowerPoint presentation will show up one side and all the video will list on the side.
Okay, when I initially asked you the question, Kim, my video did not show up. And when Tricia asked, it showed up immediately. That difference is what?
I see you when it's highlighted when you speak. So maybe it's a different internet speed, and it's the base on the presenter who will speak. So you see me right now, right? Highlighted.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I see everyone on the side because
then
of
you
the view
see-
option is side by side, you know.
But when you look at it, whoever is speaking, which is a presenter, that have a spotlight around the video. So you see the yellow. Can you speak and then you are having a yellow spotlight?
You have me in yellow. I don't see that distinction at all. And I'm not sure why, Kim. I guess that was my question. Because if I'm talking to a student, I want to see that student's.
Well, and also if the students, the most of cases that it answer is like this. It's up to the users.
Okay.
So as a professor or the host of the meeting, we could control a little bit, but always they can go back to change it. Even we had a sports live, so you can say, okay, they can only see me. So when you have a guest speaker or when you want student to see you, they can always change it back to the gallery view. So trying to see everybody. And sometimes when they don't have a video and it's not shows up. So everybody will be able to control their viewing options. So we don't have total power as a professor or the host. We don't have a total power of controlling everything. Would that answer the question?
I think so, yeah. So if I heard you correctly, then the student really controls it much more than the host.
Yeah.
In terms of that personal student's what he wants to show. Okay.
Yeah. What they want to see. If they want to see everybody, they're staying in the gallery view. And if they want to see you, and they were just in the presenter view. So
Gotcha.
we cannot control that. We can initially set up, but then they always have an option to change it. So that's one part we can. So, okay. And
Okay.
thank you. And the next option, so this is why I'm always running out of the time. We have a more question the faculty because it's engagement. So we have a more engagement question. So chat. So thank you for giving me the heart. And the chat is the very easy to use, right? While we're using the chat, it's very easy to use and it's built into the all of the meeting. Chat is like things that you could control the most, right? Even the video and audio, or each user have their control over. We can force the student turn on the video, right? We can request them to turn on the video. We don't have control over. But chat is the one that we could control as a host, as a teacher. And it's built into the all of the meeting room. And you can get the quick feedback. So remember, it's easier to use the reactions or emoji icon with using hand. But the quick answer, if you want to ask a student, okay, what is the, explain something and what is the terminology, then you want everybody's answer, right? Or not just one or two student answer. So you can use it start in the middle and end of the class and using the chat. And so like short writing. So give me also short answer. Then using the chat will actually, you can ask everybody to answer. One nice thing about it is I like, so there is option. Okay, okay. So the option is you can even send the file on the fly. So you wanted to give student, okay, this is the article I want you to guys read. Question done?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so when you have some images you wanted to share with your student on the fly, then you can actually put the file in the chat area so students have access to it. So if you click the files like this page icon and lots of different options available, or you can just do the drag and drop. So you find the file and then just dumping into the chat area, then will deliver to the student. And as you can see, even in the chat has a reaction too. So if your student have a difficulty finding reaction, it's not the reaction, it's the emoji icon. So they can use the emoji icon in the chat to find it and send it in the chat. And then if you look at the more, as I said, 3 dot is always a more option in the Zoom that you can control who can send the messages and who will be the receiver. Okay, so you can control it. So you can turn off the chat. So you don't want any back channel or even asking you a question, you can turn it off, or you can have everybody can actually send you responses. So no one else will be able to see the other students' responses. So if I leave the chat option as a host and co-host, whenever you type in the chat, myself, Quelly, and Dale will be able to see your question, but none of your colleagues were able to see. Some presenter or professor like that way. So you wanted to see the responses, but not necessarily that student will know the answer. So you know that when we ask a student question, they always copy or imitate it, right? Even the simple fact checking questions. So like what year was the president somebody? So when you ask year, that's a simple answer, but it's important to keep the fact checking question. Then you can just, if you use the chat as a host and co-host, you will be able to get the answer. Nobody will be able to see the other's answer and they cannot cheat. So that's the benefit. But then we always emphasize that it's your decision what you wanted to do in the classroom, even in the Zoom classroom, that how you want to do with your student. And even you can leave as the everyone and anyone directly. So that meaning that student could actually talk to each other that you are not going to be aware of. So by default in our the workshop setting is open to everyone, meaning that Trisha could send private message to Don and Trisha could send private message to me. So if Trisha can send the private message to Don, and as a host, I'm not going to be able to know that message. So if it's directly to personal messages, then we're not able, co-host not able to see it. So some faculty member are concerned that student is talking to each other, you're not knowing about it. So sometimes you guys are disabling those features, but it's up to you. I encourage the student talk to each other. So it's also, it's building the sense of community. So I let them talk even if I don't know. So I leave as open, and our workshop and our program, we always leave the chat open for everybody. Everybody can directly talk to each other. And also send us some messages, but you have to decide. So if you want students to talk to each other, which that you're not going to be aware of, it's a back channeling. You're not going to be able to aware that when students have a private messages, but you can actually even leave the chat open and ask the student that send me a private message if you are worrying about student or cheating or not cheating, actually copying from other student answer. So I teach statistics, most of you guys know. I give the short question in the slide and I ask the student, give me the answer. I always prompt them to private chat. So not to everybody, send me the private chat so I have an answer. So reason is that you can actually you can save the chat after, at the end of the meeting, you can save the chat, or there is a report is available in the Zoom. So if you really need to check student participation correct answer, you can check the chat report later. So what have been said and who's been participating, those kind of information. So I personally use the chat a lot, and everybody know that because of student were not able to turn on the video, and I use a chat a lot, and I tell them, I don't usually wait all the answers to be answered, and I just let student know that I'm gonna review. So I know that who answered it not, so I'm gonna review and then give you guys a credit, but you need to give me the answer. So that's the strategy that I've been using. So everybody know that they need to give me the answer in private chat. So in that way I know, and also first couple of times you have to check that who have not answered in private chat, and then let them know that like you didn't participate in the class. So it's not the attendance that they were there, but it's a participation. So students have to actually give me the answer whenever I'm asking them to give me the answer. So that's where you can use the chat too. So the deciding what kind of option chat with, that you have to decide whether you're going to be open to everything or just you are the only one who want to receive the question from the student. And also other things that if you have more than 20 students or 25 students, asking students to help each other is always nice. So now I have a co-host. It's something like this. I have a co-host, Quelly, and there's here. So if it's a technical problem, especially in the Zoom or Canvas or PowerPoint, I ask the student too. So help each other. Some student struggling to find the chat or find the reaction, then I ask the student, can you please help somebody? As a professor, I want to run the classroom. So those things, if anyone knows answer, please help each other. And they love to do that. Then, but if you disable the chat to be able to other students to see, then you're actually losing some helper from the classroom. So I always open it, but it's up to you. So if you think that so many back channel discussion is going on with a one-on-one with the student, then you can always disable it, but just leave as open, and there's a more benefit. Okay. Any question? Okay. So select one of us, not just me, Kelly, Dare, myself, select one of us, and then just let us know what was your personal goal to attending this workshop. Okay. So not to everybody, select one of the co-hosts. So Dare or Quelly, and let us know, let them know that what is your personal goal to taking this workshop. Okay. So you have to open up the chat. I got one. I can see that Don and Trisha is typing. So let me know, Kelly and Dare. You don't have to reveal the name. So that's the thing. Students love the privacy in the Zoom classroom. Because I don't have to tell their name, and I just tell them, okay, I got a question. So like, this is a question. What do you guys think? And there was kind of running a session. Dare, did you get any?
I got 2.
2, okay. So we're waiting one more. So like
I
this,
got one.
okay, good. Thank you everybody to participating. I'll review after the workshop. So like this, and when you ask a student to type something, make sure they give student enough time. That's the thing we always forget even in the classroom, that student need the time to read the question, our prompt, and then think about it and then type it. So give always a student the time to actually respond your prompt, even using the chat, okay? Speaking is maybe a little less, but when you're asking student to type it in the chat based on your prompt, give them at least 20 seconds, 30 seconds that they can think about it, and then they can type it in the chat. So that's how you can use the chat to engaging with your student. I use a private chat a lot with the student, especially my STEC class student love asking me a question using the private chat. So in that way that they are like, I don't want it to be like the student, that's the student comment. I'll be able to ask you a question on the spot instead of waiting to at the end of the classroom, because nobody see that they're asking me a question, because right now it's a private. So I got one, I don't have to reveal the name. So that student loves a private chat option to be able to talk with the professor using the chat. So you can use as the asking student to send a message to everybody or send the private chat option to you. And one of the things from previous slide, one thing that newly like people are trying to do is asking student take turn and taking a note. So in that way, so you can set of like, I can ask Tricia, say, can you take a note and then put it in the chat what we're discussing? So then later, not everybody have to take a note, and then we can share the shared note with the entire student. So again, taking note is good learning strategy, but not every student has a good learning strategy to take a note. So you can actually rotating the student. Okay, you lead this class this time to you take a note what we're discussing or the answers that provided by the student. And then also you can say, okay, and someone else, okay, Don, you're responsible for the chat. So make sure that if there is any question need to be addressed, and you need to stop me to be able to stop me to actually we can discuss together. Because right now we only have a 4 faculty members that here as a workshop participant, and with the 20 students, and sometimes it's quite challenging to actually read all the chat. You were in the meeting too, maybe other workshop. If someone has a lot of question, it's really engaging with the chat, and it's sometimes very challenging to read the chat. So you can assign one student like, you are the moderator for the chat today. So make sure that I address all the questions that you guys are raising. In that way, you get involved with them, give them power of the, okay, I'm the moderator. So then you're not missing anything, because you're trying to read it, but it will be challenging if students ask you lots of questions. So that's how you can actually use the chat in your classroom. So any question, is that okay with the chat? So trying to provide the different scenarios that how you can use it. Okay, cool. Okay. Annotation, cool. So annotation, thank you, Don. So that's the thing. Students said they don't have to actually have a video using the reactions that the students said. My student told me too, we don't have to turn the video on as long as we are engaging. That's what my student used. So as long as they can give me the answers when I'm asking, I said, I'm okay. I love to see you guys, but I don't really need to see you as long as you're engaging. So annotation is one of the great tools that we, as a workshop leader, we use a lot to show you guys where things are. It's only available when you share the screen or when you're using the whiteboard from the Zoom classroom. So you can like write onto the slide. I can write onto the slide, and you guys can write onto slide, and student could write onto the slide. And I wanted to make sure that when you enable the annotate, and this is what Zoom bomb happened. So students are writing that the sensitive word and then not respectable word in the slide or the whiteboard, because they have a capability. Again, Don, it goes to who controls what. you can actually disable the annotation, for nobody can actually use the annotation, or you can let everybody annotate it, or you could have as a co-host, or the host could only annotate it. So there are options. But if you let students to do annotate in certain document, then they have option to write anything they want. So that's what June bonds, that they're writing things that really not respectful and hurtful word in your slide when you're sharing PowerPoint. So options available right now. If you look at the top of your screen, you will see the view option, right? You find the other options. Under the view options, there is an annotate. Okay, you have to click on to open that menu. So I need to get annotate to my annotate. So once you have an annotate menu will come up. Then by default, whoever use annotation on the screen, name will pop up. But again, like on an anonymity in the classroom is really students like it. Like I need the activity, but I don't necessarily need to see student name. So that's the fear of raising hand and they're saying something in the classroom. So I can actually remove who's writing something. But by default, whoever writes something will show up, and I changed it. So when you open up annotate, then so these are the annotation options. So there are quite a few. So student could type the text. They can draw it. They can use a stamping. Stamping is a kind of reactions, and also there is an option for you can spotlight, and then these are the options to delete it. And the format will give you the different color of your text when you are drawing or text, and you can have a different color of the text under the format, okay? And the font.
So Young, so when if we use this, so we go into the view options and we choose annotate. So are we making these choices, or as soon as we select that they can annotate, then the students can choose all these options?
Student could choose all these options. So let's do this. So you have to open up your annotate. So this is the annotate activity that I want you to do. So you open up annotate and give me a star stamp under the stamp. So we did, so Jamie just trying to just participate in. So last year we had 6 different type of the classroom, right? Modality of the classroom last fall. So what was your favorite delivery modality, and what was your least favorite modality? So your favorite modality, you give me a star stamp from the annotate, and red X stamp the least favorite. So you have to go.
I don't see Anna. I'm not seeing it in
under the view options.
I don't see it.
Annotate.
I'm not seeing it now.
Yes, you don't see either.
I see standard side by side, speaker side by side, or full. I see like
more. Can you go
Go
to the
go up higher? You're on the view options related to the video,
top,
where
yeah.
you see the green bar.
I see. Okay.
Annotate. Yeah.
I
Cool.
see.
I got
Okay.
a star. I got a 2-star, 3-star.
Okay.
Heavy hybrid is a list.
So wait, so
Oh. See, this is a like quick, easy annotate activity. Cool.
Oh wait, how do I don't see how I do a star
And under stamps.
under stamp.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
First option, yeah.
I
So
see.
there are quite a few options in the annotate.
Got it.
Okay, I'm waiting for one more X.
Wait. I'm holding everybody up.
No, I got 4 X's. So cool. So this is a quick and easy way to do it too. So doing this way, instead of using yes and no, doing this way, student will be able to see what other students are saying. So it's some question or some content that we want to know how they're doing, but sometimes you want to share the class census that what they're doing. So that's the best way to do with the annotation. So it's a simple way to do it. But like I create, even you can have a simple 1-bar line said, do you agree or you don't agree, or those kind of things. I'm gonna clear everything. As a teacher, you can clear everything. So, or even you can too, you can clear it. So this is a one way to do the annotation, okay? Okay, the next one, we're gonna use a text, okay? So same, when you open up Annotate, this time we're gonna use the text option. And again, when you look at the format, you can choose different color and the thickness is, oh, I hate this one. Okay, then also the font size. So you can change the color, okay? So what we wanted to do is, go ahead. So open up the Annotate, open up the text, and what's the something that you did spring 21, okay? Not this semester, spring 21 semester that you are proud of in terms of helping student. One thing you helped out your student that you're proud of yourself. What did you do to help your student? So open up Annotate and click text, okay?
I have not been able to locate the Annotate button.
I think she's not talking to us, so I'm gonna mute her. So when you get the text, okay? I cannot type it on the,
I was talking to you, Young. I've not been able to.
oh, okay. You're not able to use it? I'm sorry, I just muted. I thought that you were not talking to us. Unmute yourself, Suchi.
Yeah, so I've not been able to find the Annotate.
If you look at on top of the my share screen, there will be the view option.
I'm able to see the view options, but it only says.
Did you find the annotation?
No, it doesn't say Annotate.
Yeah, if you click Annotate and the Annotate option will be open up and then you have to click text with a T. Okay, so understanding was mine. I have two answers. Are you able to see?
I see the window or I don't see.
T is Annotate. You not see the Annotate option or you not seeing the T text? So then you click onto the My Slide. Once you click T and then you click onto My Slide and then you will be able to type it. So you move your cursors around on My Slide and click and then type it.
So once we type, can we edit?
Yeah, you can edit it. Go back to edit it.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not letting me.
You could.
Because I'm trying to, and I have a typo and I can't.
You
figure
have to double click, go on the box and double click.
Okay.
Like I could go back to like this.
It's giving me another text box for some reason.
Find that one and then double click into the box.
Okay, I'm leaving it. I can't get it to work. Doesn't matter.
That's okay. We're just like students.
Practicing.
Yeah, students love this, and they can. I mean, if it's a drawing, if you want to have the Venn diagram or some kind of concept map, you can do that too. So annotation has such a power option, so you can. So, but again, then we're giving every student power to write onto the slide or write onto the screen. So that's how June bomb happens. Students are writing things that they should not write. Okay. Suchi, are you still trying to write it? Do you guys want me to?
I don't see anything coming up.
Okay. we'll try to help you, but later. But I just don't want to hold up everybody. So this is the one other ways you can use annotation. So stamping, even you can do the drawing. If you choose the drawing, then you can do free drawing. Okay, I wanted to create. So this one student could do. Okay, so so cool, happy face. So we can do like this. And there is an option to you can save what student do in the activity or you can remove it. So depending on the activity. So if you're doing the like concept map or like this kind of activity, if you want to save it, you can save the student activity. We'll save as the image file and you can share with your student later in the Canvas. So it's very, very nice to have the annotation option, but you have to make sure that it's on your list to might have the Zoom bombing where the student could write like not respectful word in using the annotation, okay? So yeah, cool. So I'm gonna remove everything in here. Okay. Okay, then and then go back to next one. So any question related to the annotation?
Yeah, Kim, you said you were removing everything. My text is still there on my screen. Is that where it should be?
It should be deleted from everybody's view.
I'm still
You
looking at
still have
mine.
I
Quelly,
don't,
do you
yeah,
guys,
it doesn't show up for me. It's gone for me.
it's gone. Oh, his Zoom is a little bit delayed.
Oh, it may be the delay.
Yeah,
It may.
I think that that's why even the video is a little delayed. I think the internet connection is a little delayed.
Okay, and I notice everyone's muted but me and Sushi.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so
That's okay. You're controlling that, correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so think about the other ways you can use annotation. And yeah, I even my statistics class, I ask the student to trying to solve the problem. I give them a prompt and have a volunteer to solve the problem. So you can do lots of different ways using the annotation. It's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna open up the Zoom poll that you can answer me. So you will
Let's see if I can clear this.
Is it still not clear?
No, still not clear. I'm clearing it manually myself.
Okay. You could do that too, yeah. So I'm gonna, you should see pop-up screen showing that select one answer. The question is, have you posed a question? Oh, it's a typo, a question to a group of students or colleague using Zoom polling before? And I'm saying is, have you used the polling before? Okay, I have 2 answers, 3 answers. I'm waiting for one more answer. So like I said, you'll be able to see how many students are responded in the polling, and also you can see how many, like how long you've been giving them a polling. So I have 3 answers right now. So I'm waiting for one more person to respond it. Okay, I got 4, cool. Okay, so I ended the poll. So now I can actually share the poll with you guys. This is the responses. So 1 person used the Zoom polling before and 2 didn't use it before, 1 not sure, meaning that only 1 of you were able to use it and 3 of you have not used it before. So are you able to see the result in your screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so then I'm gonna stop it. And I believe that you have to remove those view from your view. So what you just did is the Zoom polling. So in the Zoom, there's a native polling. So like getting ideas from your student, or even you can give them a question and they can select from multiple choices or multiple select. So I just demonstrated how to use the Zoom polling. So it's again, all these activities, quick checking student knowledges and give student question, and you can see the answer and check their understanding or even get some feedback. And also I have to say that we have a different workshop demonstrating you that different polling system, not just the Zoom native polling system. Zoom has a polling, but it has a limited function. So if you really want to use this polling option, that we have another workshop to introducing you guys that other free tools that you can use in your classroom. So you can have named students who answered what or not. So in setting up the Zoom polling is you had to set up in the writer.zoom.us, okay? Or you can have a 1 single answer or multiple answer. There's no, the written Zoom polling is available. It's just quickly checking multiple choice or multiple select the types of question available. You can have a 25 different polling. So I did 1, right? I did 1 this time. You can do 25 different time in 1 meeting, okay? And if you, like I shared with you guys, if you want to check the answer for yourself, you can collect the data and then just let it go, or you can share with your student that this is what I've got. Or what do you guys think? Why did you guys choose choice B or C? So something like that. So you can have those kind of information. Again, with the chat report, also the polling result and report are available. You can download it from writer.zoom.us. So how to use it? When you go to the writer.zoom.us, you will see the all of your meetings. So you probably already created a class meeting. So you find a meeting that you would like to add a polling question. So the polling question is per meeting. So if you want to use even yes, no polling with your student, you have to add those questions in each meeting that you would like to use. So when you go to the meetings and when you go to click the meeting title, and you have to go bottom of the pages in the writer.zoom.us, then there is it said you have not created any polling yet. So if your meeting have not had anything, that options will show you, and you just need to click add. Okay, so actually adding those questions will be able to, Kelly and other team member are able to help you in the drop-in session. So if you want a question that you want to able to use the polling, that will help you to in the drop-in session. I don't want to spend too much time in the technical pieces in this classroom. So option is writer.zoom.us, and you need to find your class meeting, and then go bottom of the pages that there is an add option. So once you click that, and looks like this. So you need to type a question and then choices. So my choice was yes, no, not sure. If you're asking specific question, what is the definition of this? And you can have all different terminology as answer 1, answer 2, answer 3. So like doing a quick quiz using the polling. So you will see how they are answering it. You don't have to ask them to go back to the Canvas to the online quiz. You can just do the quick checking. Again, first option, you can see the anonymous. So you can collect the who said what, or you can just leave a checking as anonymous. So you're not collecting who said what, okay? So that's how you create it. Once you have it, or I'm gonna skip this part. It's gonna be too complicated. Well, if you have a multiple question that you want to add, if you want to have a 25 polling questions, then there is a template you can use it too. So you don't have to go through those view that in the writer.zoom.us. In your view, when you're using it right now, you don't have poll menu in your view because you are the participant. But when you're hosting your meeting, there will be this like bar chart icon under the menu will be available. So launching the poll, you have to click those bar chart icon to in launching the poll. Then what you need to do is, again, you have to pre-enter all those questions and choices in writer.zoom.us, then click the polling icon and launch the poll. So once you do that, you just experience that. You can see how long it's going to take, and you see, oh, Zoom will automatically give you that progress. So how many students give you the answer? So that's why I've been telling you, I didn't get 4 answers. So please, everybody answer, responded. So it's very nice to see. And also, as I said, when we're using the chat, make sure that giving student enough time to think about it, responding it. So even here in the polling, give you the timer. So you can say, okay, I'm going to give you guys a 1 minute, and you can actually start the progress using the progress timers that to say giving them 1 minute or 2 minutes. And you experience a student view, well, student will see, and then they have to select the answer and then submit it. So that's the student view. So on your left side is your view as a teacher later, and right side is the student view. Okay. So they have to select the answer and submit it. And then as a teacher, you have to end it. If you don't end it, it's going to keep going there. So you have to end the poll, and then you decide whether you want to share it or not. And also, you can reuse it after you clean up. So like previous question that I had a yes, no, not sure. So then you have a question in your PowerPoint slide or give them a prompt, and you don't have to keep entering these specific questions. You can just relaunch it. So, okay, second question. Well, did you go to the Cranberry Fest this year? Give them a prompt and then relaunch it. Then yes, no, unsure will be available. They can answer it. So you can save your time to using those like the default format of the answer choices. You can add yes, no, or A, B, C, D, and ask a student the question. And again, student will be able to see how many students said yes, how many students said no. So they will be able to see that view. Again, as I said, students have options to closing to see the result. Okay, then you can stop sharing it. You have to stop sharing it. Then once you stop sharing it, and then view will disappear from your screen. Then like in Zoom classroom, lots of pop-up window will be available. So you have to keep closing those things. Okay. So any question in the polling, again, not actually really how to add it, but had a sense that how to use it and how might you want to use it. So any question? So we'll help you in the drop-in session to adding the question.
So I am in previewing it. I'm starting a class. I provide a PowerPoint presentation. I want to set up a polling on certain questions in the PowerPoint presentation. Now, when do I do it? I do that prior to class.
Correct, prior to class.
Step me through it again, Kim. I'm at that point now. I'm in my PowerPoint and I want to poll a particular question with my class.
Mm-hmm.
Step one is to
go to the writer.zoom.us.
Okay.
So then they're gonna ask you to prompt to log in.
Okay. They will ask me to say it again.
And then you find the class meeting time. Okay.
Right.
So find a specific meeting that today 3 p.m. or tomorrow 8 a.m. or well, 9 a.m. So find a specific class meeting link that you want to add a poll and click the title. Okay. Click the title of the meeting and go bottom of the pages.
Got it.
Then there will be add icon on the bottom right corner.
Got you. Okay, got it.
And you can follow the direction. Cool. So you can add, and I didn't show you, but each poll you can have a multiple question. But based on experience, and everybody had a little tiny the laptop. So having a 2-3 question in a poll, it wasn't really doing well. So I personally recommend faculty member have a 1 question in a poll, but you can have a multiple question in a poll. But I used it before, but it was confusing too much for student, and also the real estate in their computer screen, it's just hard to navigate. It's just a 1 question per poll. I just recommend it. Once you use it, you can add more question in a poll. Okay. So that's the polling. So again, you can have a report later to see who said what, or quickly checking or gauging their understanding is very nice actually to do it.
Right. Has the normal student used poll before, or are they as naive as I am on it?
I mean, it's the engaging part. Like we can tell them like, I need to know you guys are here. So if I don't get your responses, so that's the tone, set the tone that like, you don't have to show me your face, but when I'm asking you a question, everybody need to answer. If you don't answer, then your attendance, your participation goes low, because some student actually join in. I did that to the webinar. So join the webinar, I wish that I want to attend, but then I just step away. So student doing that too. They just join the meeting and then go away. Well, if we were not doing this constant checking with the student, we never know that they're their entire time with 1 hour, 1.5 hours. If you're teaching evening class, it's going to be 3 hours. So these things that you have to make sure that I'm in a way that I'm checking you guys that they're with me. So don't go away. Or if you're going to go away, then let me know. So you're not going to be penalized. So if you do the first 1 or 2 class, then they actually know that you're doing it. So they're not going to disappear, or they just let you know that like, oh, Dr. Brown, my mom needed help. And then can I just step away a few minutes? Where I I had a class that students said, fire alarms going on in the dormitory. So students said, we gotta go out. So they're there, but they'll not be able to participate in. So things happen. So, but you need to set the tone that like, you need to be here with me all the time. You're not gonna passively listening what I'm saying, right? So that's the thing. So once you do these kind of things, student knows that they're gonna be there with you. So that's important, setting up the tone. Okay, breakout room. So again, like what we're doing, even the polling and everything, you have to have a specific plan. So best way to actually doing the breakout room, that giving student clear instruction, what are you expecting? Whether they need to create a concept map, or they need to have a summary, or note taking, or brainstorm, whatever you want them to do, you need to give them clear instruction that how many minutes they had to do. And also the best way to do it is actually having a note taker. Even if they're doing the brainstorming, someone had to write it, okay? So as a teacher, one breakout room is like having student having a small group discussion. One only difference is in in-person class and breakout room in Zoom classroom is that as a teacher, you're not going to be hearing what they're doing unless you're joining the breakout room. So you are assigning student, putting into the different breakout room, but you're not going to be able to hear what they're discussing unless you're jumping into their room to see. As a teacher, as a host, you can go into the room to see what they're doing. But in the classroom, beauty of it is you put them into the group and you're hearing students, some of the group are struggling, then you can quickly go to the one corner, help them to understand what they had to do. But that's not going to be available in the breakout room. You have to manually go there to see it. But then one thing we heard from the student and also the faculty member, because when you're joining to the breakout room, they don't know that you joined it or not. So they're actually, students are so surprised. There's some, in a way, there's some are scary. They said, we'll just keep discussing and professor just jumping into the room. So you have to think about it, whether you're actually going into room by room to see what they're doing or how they're doing. So, or even student had options too. Okay, I'm gonna go with you can create up to 50 rooms. So we're good. We're a small classroom size, so we're always okay. Yeah. So you can, as I said, you can in and out from each room to see what they're doing. And when you go into the breakout room, also they will be able to see you're there. Sometimes when you join and they just suddenly stop. Or, well, first time they do, but later they're used to you and then they're okay. And then even they're asking you a question. And you can actually send the messages to everybody in the breakout room instead of going into each breakout room. So you can broadcast like, okay, 2-minute warning, and now everybody should write your answers or prepare to this, and you don't have to go room by room. You can broadcast messages to every room, even though you're in the main room. And also student in the breakout room to able to call you. They have an option to ask for help, and then you will get the pop-ups that breakout room 1 ask me help. So you can join the room, or you can decline it if you are helping to other students. So it's pretty sophisticated, I would say. The Zoom did very good job to creating a breakout room to having a small group conversation. As you can see, all the options you have in the main room will be available in the breakout room. So they can chat and talk and have everything. But best way to doing the breakout room, some faculty member actually ask a student to record their session to make sure that it's like checking that they're doing the work or not. But student cannot record their breakout room session to the cloud. They can only record it on their computer, and then they have to share the recording with you, okay? So some faculty member use the breakout room to the group presentation. So again, students are having a hard time to finding group work time outside of classroom. So many professors giving student class time to working on the group project. And then at the end, they said, okay, this time we're gonna dedicate your presentation. So you put them into the group, in the group breakout room, and then ask them to record their presentation. So helping them to eliminate meeting time to scheduling, because it's very hard to student finding time to meet as a group. So you give the class time to working on it, and you want them to recording the presentation, but they cannot record to the cloud. They can only record to their computer and share the file with you if you want to see those. Okay. Looks like Don has a question.
No, not really, but it's a general question.
Okay.
I like the idea of the breakout room. I'm not sure I'm ready to use it. I can go over this recording of this session after we leave. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and then also it's very nice in the breakout room. You can randomly assign the student that putting into different breakout rooms. So like I said, if it's a group project they have to working on, you can assign the specific student specific room. So that would be okay too. I mean, yes, it will take more time to randomly assign. It's just click a button and student will go into a different room. But assigning specific student in a specific group, the number of the student will take your time, but that's okay. They enjoys it. So it's very nice to have those. And then it is interesting that students who are not turning on the video in the main room with everybody, when they go to the breakout room, they tend to turn on the video in the small group. And then they actually see each other and talk to each other. That's what we've been hearing from the other colleagues, that's what happened. They never turn on the video in the main room, but in the breakout room, everybody turn on the video. That's what everybody said. So again, you can do those kind of things. So I'm gonna put you guys into a breakout room. Should I do 2 or just more? But let's pair it up and then putting into 2 breakout rooms. So the Quelly will share, Quelly you will be sharing. So I'm gonna give you guys a Google Doc, so shared documents. In that way, as a teacher, as a host, I can see what you guys doing. So prom is that, so now we saw the couple of Nonbubble and chat and polling and breakout room. So we discussed a couple of different strategic engaging tool in the Zoom classroom. So I want you to think about it, what you can use. Like Don, you said, I want to use the polling. So you can discuss with your pair that what you wanted to do and how you can actually use those things in your classroom. So I'm going to put you into the breakout room, and in that, click onto the Google Sheet. Okay. Click more. So I guess that we have to do 1. So click onto the Google Sheet first before before I move you into the breakout room. So you have open up to the Google document, Google, what am I saying? Google Doc, PowerPoint, and you could have access to that and then add what you wanted to add into the PowerPoint slide, in the Google slide. So breakout room, I'm going to create 2. Automatically. Okay, so cool. Move to 1, 2. Okay, so okay, then she's here. Give me a second. Recreate. Okay, so I'm gonna create 2 breakout rooms. So please join the breakout room and working on the activity. No, I have to change 1 person. Okay. So everybody's in the breakout room, and then I'm actually seeing activities going on in my Google slide. So, okay, we're still recording. I'm just giving the narration for the recording. Okay, cool. Everybody's back. How do you guys think?
I like it. I like
Yeah.
the tool. I just wish I was more comfortable with using it, you know.
Mhm. So like even if I'm not in the room, I'm sharing the Google slide that I can see what you guys are doing, right? It's so nice that then if I can see that no one is actually doing for the room 3, then I can jumping into room 3, then helping them to what is going on. And I hope that you guys were able to see my broadcasting. I said, and let me know if you have a question. It's very tiny. They've been improving it, but still the student will be able to see. So then once you come back and you can actually have a debrief session. So if you give the different prompt to different breakout room, then everybody come back and then have a presenter to present what they found or what they discussed. So it's great. You need to give them prompt and what they has to do and provide the space. So we are always recommending faculty member to use the Google Doc or the Google slide. So in that way, even if you're not physically in the breakout room, you will see what students are doing. And also they have evidences that what they're doing in the classroom. So any question related to the breakout room?
Something happened to our notes on our slide.
Yeah, somebody deleted it.
Somebody did. We
So,
had
and
great
also-
ideas.
No, and also good thing is the Google Doc, you have a previous version, so you can go back to, okay, I'm gonna go back. So we'll be able to find the previous version. So I'll do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's how you do it. So create it, and again, have all the evidences. I'm giving everybody to access without the name, but you can actually make sure the student actually have to log on to the writer Gmail, then you will have the who edited what information. So that's the breakout room. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And again, have to plan it what you want them to do. And once you create it, and they'll be able to do it. And you share, go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, we have 5 minutes, but I really wanted to show you other tools. Again, technical, how to set up breakout room. We have a breakout room workshop, so you can spend entire hour to how to create it, how to maintain it, and all those kind of things. Last tool that it's not part of the Zoom tool, but since we did the breakout room, so with the Google slide, I use the documentation to see what students are doing. And there is another called Jamboard. It's a board. Again, it's like a whiteboard or a Jamboard. What I like it about it is a Jamboard has a sticky note. So as an educator, we use a sticky note a lot, right? Even not as an educator, we grab the sticky note and then put them into everywhere. So it has a sticky note options available. So a student could go in and put a note, and you can see even add images. So it's very easier and nice view to look at it and add the information. So this one is not everybody introducing it. So it's a part of the Google. Jamboard is a part of the Google. So if you go to your Gmail, okay, if you go to Google Gmail, that there are 9 dots. Again, always a dot is a more option whenever you look at the software. So if you're 9 dot right top corner, and if you scroll down, there is called the menu called the Jamboard. That's how you're gonna access it. Or if you are in the Google Drive, then you can create under more option. It's not nicely viewable. So under more option, then there's a Jamboard. So once you create it, looks like this. The student could use, these are the menu options. Student could write it and draw it, and there's a sticky note, and they can add the images. Okay, so those things are available. I think I should have a prompt. So Kelly just shared the Jamboard link. So everybody please click the link, okay? Click the link, and then you can actually use the comment sticky note. So I'm giving you more directions. So yellow sticky note, 1 takeaway, okay? Green sticky note, and what do you want to learn more about it? And blue, what else do you want us to actually talk about it, or what do you want to share about it? So I'm gonna go to the Jamboard so we can see what everybody's doing.
Hey, how do I get to Jamboard again?
created or participating activity.
Yeah.
Two
It's in
different things.
the links in the chat.
Links in the chat. Please click the chat link so you can
Okay.
open up. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
let me.
And then Quady, you stuck this out there, right?
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm gonna go to the Jamboard so everybody could see what we are doing. Okay, so here, so you can actually click this sticky, change a different color, add your annotation or your information. Love the annotation. Okay. So again, I can see what student doing. You can type in, or you can just use the text information, right? Okay. So we love the sticky note, and you can do the color coordination. So you can have, there you go, and you can move things around. So then see all the overview and what they're doing. So you can use as a 1-minute paper before they exit out of the classroom. So like ask them to tell me what you learned today, like something like that. 1 sentence summary. So you can do something like this. So yeah, it's enabled for everybody have access to the Jamboard. So you can quickly check it, and you just need to create a Jamboard page so student can use it. Okay. So any question? Go back to PowerPoint so we can finish up. Okay. Yeah. So those are the tools that we do have access to in-house. There are other tools that you can use it, but we wanted to make sure that easily accessible to you so you can implement it. And also wanted to demonstrate it actually how to use it during the workshop so you can have a sense of this is how can I use in our classroom. Again, polling, breakout room, Jamboard, you need to set up prior to the class time, class meeting time. We'll be able to help you during another workshop with the breakout room or setting up the polling or Jamboard during the drop-in session. So we continue to hosting our drop-in session. So please join the drop-in session if you have additional question. Couple things that, again, we discussed about it. The student, it'll help you if student not sharing the video, their internet speed still. I think the Verizon Fios and everybody did excellent job to keep us on hold, like make sure that we'll keep moving. But sometimes the internet speed with choppy and you keep disconnected with those, then ask them to, even you yourself to, just not sharing your video will help you not disconnected. And also, we didn't hear a lot from our student and faculty colleague, but if the student use a Chromebook, I hope that Zoom is updated a little bit. Certain features that student will not be able to use the features using Chromebook. I'm hoping that the Zoom will update their features that we'll be able to use it. So, but there is a limitation because it's a technology, so there will be some limitation. And also, like I said, I always encourage the student use private chat. So in that way, they can freely ask any question. Also, when you have a student hearing impaired, then the Barbara's office, accessibility student support and accessibility office will send you live captioner. So they will join your classroom and then type the live captioning to student has a visually impaired. And even for many other students, even if you had things in your PowerPoint, please read aloud to students who are visually impaired student or legally blind student. We have quite a few, on our campus. So trying to do those kind of things. And that's all I have. And also make sure that you have a latest version of your Zoom, okay? So latest version of the Zoom client is 5.8.1. So make sure that you have the latest version. If you don't know how to install what I meant by the Zoom client, and please contact help desk and they'll be able to assist you install the latest version on your computer. Okay. They just went into the drop-in session. So you guys, if you guys want to continue to have a conversation, then you can go to the drop-in session.
Thank you
Any
so much. This was helpful.
Any other questions? So I'm going to stop recording it.
I have to sign off.